Welcome to part 2 of 12 Stones game tutorial on Jacob's House, or the House of Jacob. If you haven't seen part 1, the rules of Jacob's House, you need to go back and see the rules. Though this is not the signature game of 12 Stone, this is possibly the most popular game of 12 Stone due to its similarities with games like Rummy or Gin. However, it has a number of unique qualities that you can see and investigate and learn in part 1, which is titled Rules to Jacob's House, on this same channel. In this tutorial, we're just going to play the game. This game can be played by 2 to 4 players. Each player is given eight stones. I'll be playing this game as a 2-player hand, face up. I'll be discussing a number of the strategies that I deploy when choosing which stone to keep and which stone to discard. But I won't be talking about the general setup. That can be discovered in the previous video, Rules of Jacob's House, where we go into detail on the setup and structure of the game. To play this game, one must have a thorough understanding of the hierarchy, which can be seen in your handy-dandy trifold insert that comes with your 12-stone set that shows all 12 sevets, or tribes, and the general order from royals, captains, maps, and zaneems. In House of Jacob, generally all the leaders are just considered the 12 top brothers, and the royals are not considered outside of Britotes, which can be seen online or in the video that I just mentioned. Considering the right hand as player 1 as the caster who casted the stones, or in the card world you would say dealt the hand, we'll let player 2 go first. Now player 2 has a choice. He can take this stone or he can grab from the mound. He'll take this stone because he wants to get as many doubles as possible early in the game. And randomly, I'll discard the fig, Zaneem. For player 1, he can take this stone or from the mound. And he's going to take the fig to match up a double there. He must also be looking for possibilities of a straight. So he'll keep the lily pad. If you see on the hierarchy, a lily is sequential to the fig. The fig is like the 9th tribe, and the lily tribe is the 10th tribe. This would be the 5th tribe, this is the 7th tribe, and this is the 9th tribe. So there's not a lot of possibility for a straight in Zaneem. However, Zaneems require a 6-stone straight. So he'll discard the pomegranate. Now for player 2, the pomegranate matches up with his map here. It's also sequential with the carob and the grape. This would be a 4, 5, 6 in Zaneem's. I probably wouldn't have taken the pomegranate for that reason alone. But doubling up pomegranates, he has 2 pairs so far. Is certainly worth taking the stone. And he would likely discard the olive. Back to player 1, the olive is no real help. It does work in a straight here, where if you look at the hierarchy, We have 7, 8, 9, and 10. We have a 4-stone straight. Maybe that would be worth taking. But what would he discard? He's got a pair of acacia trees. Definitely doesn't want to discard the pair here. Open-ended straight, but he has 2 ends to fill. Given this is a show game and not a game I want to end quickly, I would leave the olive and go for the mound. And that paid off handsomely. Now he has 3 acacias. He's got 3 of 4 of a full seven. He's just looking for the captain and keeps his pair. Would likely discard the barley. The barley is a match for him. Now player 2 has 3 pairs. As seen in the rules of Jacob, he doesn't want to discard a mandrake ever, and I'm certain we'll show you why. The grape. This is a very unusual game. Normally, they're going for the mound and they're not just swapping stones so fast or so frequently. But 2 grapes. Can't pass that up. And he wants to keep the royals for high points. Discards the lily pad. Well, we'll stop swap and spit here. The lily pad does nothing for player 2, so he's going to go to the mound. And win that figure. A lily pad. Well, if 1 lily pad does nothing for him, 2 lily pads, a lily pad that would be buried soon, isn't going to help him either. 2 lily pads are nice, but they don't help player 1, so he's going to go to the mound. And he pulls the date map. Now the date map plays in a Britote, plays in the map Britote, so it's a very special stone. Probably the strongest of the map stones. However, it's no help to him. On his side, he has nothing even close to the date map. Not a map straight. This is an 11. And that's a 5. So they're nowhere near a straight there. So he'll go to the mound. And he pulls the Super Mandrake. And if you watch the rules of Jacob's House, the Super Mandrake is like the Wild Stone of 12-stone set. At least in this game. In other games. And what that gives him is the Wild Stone plays as any one of the brothers. So that can play as a 3rd card here. It could play as a 3rd stone here. So for future use, he definitely wants to hang on to that. That's not a stone you give your opponent. Seldom discarded, at least not till the end, because that can make his hand. This puts him in a very peculiar position of what he wants to throw away. Now, one thing that you would have learned, that you've definitely learned because you definitely watched the rules of Jacob's House, or you couldn't understand the possibility of this game, but this discard pile goes to 6 stones. And then 5 stones, and then 4 stones, and 3 stones, and 2 stones, then 1, and back up. And that final stone, the 6th stone, will always be available. So when you're playing 12 stones House of Jacob, and you're discarding, strategic players are setting the table at the same time as they're playing their hands. So you're playing the table at the same time you're playing your hands. Knowing that he's putting this down as the 5th stone, there's only going to be one more stone placed on top of this, and that means he can access this stone within 2 moves if he ever needs it. The Snell plays with Captain Bretotes, so even though he's discarding it, it's only 2 moves away for him to be able to retrieve it. That puts player 1 at a decision. He has a wall stone. It would be nice to have 2 wall stones. He has no Captain Bretotes that can make as a 4th player. And he'd have to make a decision. He could take this, but he's going to be giving up one of his other pairs. For now, if I was playing this player, I would leave it there knowing I could access it later if I needed it. And I would move to the mound. And that played him very well. That is twice. Twice that player 1. now player 1 has 2 3 of a kinds. He's only 2 stones away from going out. And he has a pair to boot. Question is does he want to discard this and put this temptation of having 2 wall stones on top of each other that will forever be accessible to him or his opponent? Or does he give up on the grapes? Well, he can always get this grape back. I would not put 2 stones, because if my opponent gets 2 wall stones, he's going to pull a 7 off very rapidly. So he's not giving up on the grape sevet, because he can always access this. Now that we've moved to 6, the next stone will be discarded here. The grapes don't play for player 2. But even if he did take this, his discard, once this reaches 6, no more stones will be placed on this row. So his next discard is going to be there. The grapes don't do him any real favors. It does play in a Zanim straight a bit, but not worth his time. And it's always accessible to him for the rest of the game. That'll be there. So he goes to the mound. And he pulls the lily map. Well, there's 2 lilies already here. Too late to change directions. And he'll discard. Player 1 sees the 3 lilies. Doesn't do him any favors. It's sort of a dead suit now. Goes to the mound. Wheat map. Now the wheat map actually plays with the acacia tree map in a potential map sevet. As you can see on your handy dandy card, or also you've learned by watching the rules of Jacob. Now he's not as fearful about discarding this one, because that's going to be buried unless his opponent takes it now. Well, it doesn't play for his opponent. The breastplate plays in a wall sevet, but also plays in either royal bretote. Well, he's not running in a royal bretote, so he's going to go to the mound. Oh, wow. And he pulls his second triplet. Whoo! Decision time. Well, he's actually only got a pair, so this could be a pair this way or a pair that way. Ugh. You don't want to give up the mandrakes. Ever. This concludes part 1 of 12 Stones House of Jacob. To continue watching, click on part 2. Thank you for watching.